The best lash artists don't stop learning, and I'll show you how continuing education can double your confidence and your money. If you are feeling stagnant or just uninspired in your work lately, I want to show you how education can not only increase your income, but also build trust from your clients. They're going to know that you are a continuous learner and that you are invested in continuing your education so that you're providing the best skills and the best service for them possible. As a lifelong learner and a former high school teacher, I will say that education is so important. It is so important that you continue to learn and continue to evolve your skills as a lash artist. There are so many new things that are coming out every single day, I feel like, when it comes to this lash industry, but you won't know if you aren't looking, and you won't know if you aren't searching to learn something new. There was a point in time in my lash career that I was just like, you know what? I don't like how these sets are looking. Like, I am just over it. And it was in that moment that I knew I needed to take another course. I was tired of doing the same stuff. I was tired of the same look that felt like I was putting on everybody. But this one thing changed, and that was seeking education. Trying to figure out what type of sets did I want to do and what kind of sets my clients truly wanted. Because if you pay attention and you listen closely, if your client is asking you for a different style of lashes and something that you don't know, that's your cue right there, is that you need to take a course. So for me, I remember taking the Angel Lash training with Lightheart. And then I took like a volume training with and then I took a volume training over at the Lash Exchange in Carrollton back in the day. Now, here is the one thing I need you to know. Learning and continuing education can be free. Yes, you heard me, free. So it's up to you to figure out what route is going to be best when it comes to continuing your education as a lash artist. Like 7 years ago, whenever someone was looking like for trainings were like $1,000 and up. My lash training, my basic old classic lash training was $1,200. I invested $1,200. Today you can probably find that for what, $300? And then there's some girls over on TikTok going live showing you how to do lashes for free. I invested $1,200 in my learning, and then I continued to invest in like the top courses that were thousands plus. I remember I took a training with Lash Makers, and that training I know for a fact was probably like $2,500. Today, lash classes, lash education, resources, everything is just so affordable. And thank God, because the economy is not the best, but also there's so much free resources right here on YouTube that you can utilize to increase your skills, to educate you on how to do skills properly, or learn something that might just take your lashes to another level. So if you take a look around on YouTube and say you want us to look for a course in wet sets, all you have to do is how to do a wet set on YouTube, and that information will pop up. I know you might think learning means I need to go in person and sit down. Sometimes it can be just from watching a video or listening to a podcast, or, you know, speaking with someone in your area that is doing the sets that you want to do, maybe going to observe her to see what she's doing that you're not doing, if because you know the girls like to tussle nowadays, if she is open to allowing you to do such thing. One thing that I used to do is I used to do like volume trainings, volume lash trainings, which is different from classic, because I think volume really is a course within its own self. But first you need to master classic, then you can apply the volume technique. I used to do those courses, but I don't do them anymore. I do want to kind of get back into that. But here at East Texas Lash Institute, my girls learn classic and they learn volume. We even touch on Angel Lash, wet set, and the wispy sets. But learning and continuing your education, whether it's around your skills, whether it's around how to change your business, I mean, just think about it. Right now, you're listening to me educate you on how to be a better lash artist. you can look around on this internet and find some more information or find some free resources that's going to take your lash career and your lash business to the next level. Now, most in-person trainings, they will allow for you to bring in a model, which allows you to practice or apply that technique immediately. I will say every training that I've done, I've had a model there, and then I also took it back to my town or my studio, and I would bring people in and like, hey girl, let me try this new technique I learned on you. And my clients loved that. I remember I went to LashCon last year, and PLA, Paris Lash Academy, they had come out with the new 2.0 Rapid Technology Pro-Made fans. And I was so excited because I got some in my swag bag, and I had a client that I just knew these would look great on. I was like, girl, let me use these on you. And she was like, wow, you know, just to hear that I went to a conference for lashes means that I am investing in not only myself, not only my business, but in my clients. Like, I want the best for them. Like, I want them to walk around with the best lashes. I want them to have the best retention. Like, we don't have to do things over here. We do things and we do them the correct way. So she was just so excited about that. She was super excited. And so just practicing with her with those fans, and then also whenever I got my UV LED light, I was practicing. I offered it to my clients for free. First time free. Let's try it out, see how you like it. Let's see your retention. Let's see if you have any reactions. Let's see how it's gonna work for you before we fully invest on going this LED route. And my clients love that. They love knowing that I was one of the lash artists in this area that is offering this high-tech application service. One way to apply your knowledge immediately is to take models. If you're learning something new, take a model so that you can practice and get better. As you take your models, take pictures, because we need to promote what it is that you're learning. So I want you to get a before and an after picture and promote it on your social media, promote it on your website, promote it on your booking site so people can see what you have to offer. When they go to compare you to somebody else, it's going to be what you have to offer. It's not going to be so much the price. People will pay for knowledge. People will pay for the technique. People will pay for the skills. People will pay for what you know, not just what you do. Another way to make sure that you're always learning and that you stay sharp on your skills is to join either a mentorship or an online community. And speaking of online communities, Lash Girl University will be coming out with an online community. I haven't decided on exactly where I want to host it yet, but I will create an online community just so we can all gather together, because I truly feel like as I'm doing this series, like, how great would it be for all of us to just be in one spot and talking about these things maybe weekly and really creating some action. And I want to hear back and, you know, like going live and just building a real community around the lash artist. Like, I just think that that would be so awesome. But joining communities, I'm in a community for content creation. I'm in a community for my business. I'm in a community for my finances. Like, there are so many communities that I am in. I'm in a community for being a mom. And I'm in these communities because I know that I cannot do it alone. Like, I know that I do not know enough to do what I want to do and do it well. So I need to get around people that are doing the things I want to do, people that are speaking the language that I want to speak, and people that are going the places that I want to go when it pertains to any area in my life. So finding a mentor or joining those type of lash communities is always going to be your best bet, because you are going to learn something, no doubt. And in addition to like mentors and communities, online resources, when you see people have like free ebooks and different things like that, grab those ebooks, because you can learn something in those, right? So I have ebooks that I offer. I know I had one last year. It was the Winter Arc and changing just the way we think as lash artists and how to be a better lash artist for 2025. It was literally the very first video that I ever did. But those resources are there to help educate you, and they're free. And the most important thing when it comes to always being a learner is changing your mindset from I'm done learning, or I took the training, I did the class, and I'm done, to switching it to always learning. Now, I have a high school diploma, I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, I have certificates, I have my license. I have so many accolades that show that I have completed programs, but I'm not done learning. I'm not done learning. I'll never be done learning. I am a student of life. I want to know what there is to know. I want to know all there is to know. So what I challenge you to do is to pick an area. Where are you going to continue your education? What is one thing that you want to know more about, and one thing you're committed to learning during these next 90 days? These next 90 days are crucial for your growth and development as a lash artist, and it's even more crucial for the development of your lash business. So I want you to either write in your lash artist lock-in workbook or download the workbook and join us in committing to a educational goal or commitment that you really want to execute during this time. Thank you so much for joining us here. And also, if you feel it in your, if you already know, I want you to drop down in the comments, what are you committed to learning about? What type of education is it that you are excited to get more knowledge on, and why? I want to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.